Good morning. It's Sunday morning. It's 9 o'clock, and this is Norma Cowie with a Sunday Thought. Today, because I've had my son visiting this weekend, helping me get kind of winterized with the temperatures dropping and all the other things that I can't really do right now. So I thought I'd put out three symbols to tell, what am I going to talk about today that's effective and will aid and help people. So we have three symbols. We have the Ace of Cups, the Hermit, and the Four of Pentacles. Basically, what I looked at, when I looked at that, what I got was your attitude. What is your attitude to life? What is your attitude to any situation that you have? Are you upbeat? Are you downbeat? Are you angry? Are you sad? What is the basic attitude? And the one thing I've always loved about the Ace of Cups, it does talk about that spiritual concept, that knowingness that there is a greater power that you can utilize into your life and you can bring it forth. And so that helps tremendously in whatever the situation is. So your attitude, your day-to-day attitude to life, your day-to-day attitude to yourself, your day-to-day attitude to what you're wanting to create can be incredibly, incredibly important. The other symbol in the middle here is the Hermit. And I'll show you the symbols a little bit later. Now that means the answer lies within you. Sometimes what we do is we react without thinking. We just react to what's going on. We're not really listening to our inner selves. We're not listening to the higher power, you might say, or the inspirations that we get. We don't listen to them. We sort of ignore them is because, well, that's just the way it is. But the Hermit talks about the answer lies within and that we have knowledge, we have awareness. Now, if you're like me and you believe in past lives and other dimensions and things like that, you have a lot to draw on because in the subconscious, so much is held. All your beliefs, attitudes, and judgments are all held in the subconscious. And it comes out in how you think, how you respond, how you react. Now, sometimes those reactions are not always the best for you or for me or for anybody else. We just do them without thinking. They're just a part of us because they've become part of our decision making. They become part of the sense of who we are and what we are. Excuse me. And the third symbol was a sense of Pentacles. Pentacles are the material affairs of life. And it's like the Four of Pentacles is always hanging on. He's not open. He's not open to anything that is available. It's like my way or the highway kind of thing. This is how it is. This is what it is. Often a little sad about things because it's not the way they want them or not the way that they would like them to be and bring about. So it's very often how we have our basic alignment in relation to how we feel, how we respond, how we think of life, and what those decisions that have been made so long ago in other time periods. Now, if you don't believe in past lives, that's okay. But think about often how sometimes you just react without thinking. Where does that reaction come from? Yeah, we talk about the subconscious mind, but where does the subconscious mind get it? Where is all that information stored? Where is it a part of? And that is the wonder of life, actually. And when we begin to go inside to figure ourselves out, to figure out who we are and what we are, then we begin to start to explore some of the old thinking that we have that's come from a long time ago, or can be from hereditary, it can be family as well. So I want to show you one symbol here. This is my favorite symbol, as I say, because to me, this is about life. The Ace of Cups. The bird puts in the sacrament into the cup. And on that cup, there is a symbol that says the union between the spiritual and the material, and everything overflows. There's a lot of symbology in here regarding numbers, which I'm not necessarily going to go into today, but it's about attitude. Do you believe there's a higher power? Do you believe there's an energy that is there for you when you're feeling down and out, that will support you, that will care for you, that will give you inspiration, that will support the essence of who you are and what you're endeavoring to do and where you're wanting to go? That becomes important. And then when we are looking at, like in the Hermit, the answer lies within. I used to say, we always know our own answers. We just don't like them because we want them the way we want them. We don't want to have to admit that perhaps we were incorrect. We don't want to have to admit that maybe there is another solution that is not your solution. And so consequently, this is about standing on top of a mountain, looking down, holding a lantern, looking down. And some people call this the seeker, the hermit. He seeks the knowledge because he's got a star in his lantern. And I used to remember being taught too, it's like, where I am, you too can be. In other words, whatever knowledge I may have, you too can also have that. I can learn that. I can understand it. I can integrate it. Now, the integration of knowledge and awareness and attitude all stems into how you handle your day-to-day life. Sometimes day-to-day life's hard. Sometimes it's not exactly the way that you want. So how do you handle it? Do you get stubborn like this guy? Holding it on to whatever it is, because this is my world. He's holding on all his pentacles, and this is how it's supposed to be, and why isn't it that way? So what do we end up feeling? Angry? Resentful? Disillusioned? Because until we can open up and change our attitude and listen to our deeper things going on, we are stuck. And we can get stuck. I think we've all been stuck at some point or other. We don't live our lives as pure, parachutes of virtue. Like there are times, that's how we learn, is because we bang our head against the wall enough times. We go, hold on a minute, this is not working. What else is there? What else can we do? What other changes is there? So there is a whole element that is happening right now in our world. Lots of changes, lots of things going on. Are we going to hold on to the old because we don't want to go into that newness? Are we going to change our attitude and be at least figure out how we can adjust to these things? Are we going to look inside ourselves and see what we can handle and what we can't? There's a lot happening. And to try and put your head in the sand like the Four of Pentacles can do may not be the answer for you, may not be the answer for any of us, because there's an inevitability. Tidal wave is coming. What do? You run for the hills. And then when the tidal wave is over, then you go back and you clean up the mess. So in a way, what we're doing right now is looking at so much of the situations in our lives where we don't really have a lot of control over because we're just the peons doing the work or doing whatever we want to do. I'm fortunate I get to sit here and talk to you philosophically or other ways, and that really helps me remember who I truly am. But how do you remember who you truly are when you haven't really learned yet? That's part of it. Growth. The Hermit says the answer lies within ourselves. The Ace of Cups says there's a greater power that you can utilize that will infuse you with knowledge, energy, and awareness to move forward. And then comes our little stubbornness that says, I want it my way. I was surprised when that kind of came up today, actually. And then I went, that makes sense. Because we always tend to want things to be the way we think they should be, could be, how we want them, how we want it to be. And the reality is, what is it we have to do with all this? What is it we have to really understand? Understand who we are. Understand I'm going to call it the foibles that we have inside in our belief systems. Wanting to be right, not necessarily wrong, but who's right and who's wrong? Some of the situations going on in this world, nobody knows which way is up or down at the moment. But we do know one thing: we can trust ourselves. We can trust what feels right. We can trust that we can be open. We can trust that we can move forward. And so that ends my little Sunday talk today. And I wish you well. And if you're traveling, the weather here has turned really cold. Oh dear, it's so cold. And so it's like summer's gone. My son took me for a lovely drive yesterday out into the green out in the back, and we looked around and bought some fruit and saw some scenes which were really nice. But really, in a sense, the hills, the mountains he has to drive back to get back to the city are more than likely by the end of the day going to have some white stuff on them. So he will go off and live back to his life, and I will carry on with mine. You have a great Sunday. You have a great week. I'll see you tomorrow night at 7 for mental mind treatments. Shakia, I always have your name. Sorry. Thank you for watching. Thank you for making the comment. I appreciate it. Lots of love to you all. Enjoy. Have a good day.